Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Workouts for Older Men Live. I am 𝗪𝗲𝗄𝗃. So glad you are joining me here. When you come on, say hello. Tell me where you're watching me from. I also want to know how old you are. This is Workouts for Older Men. If you are a little bit older, you've got a busy, productive life, you're looking all over the internet for the workout routines, information about working out, information about eating, what's the best diet for you now that you're a little bit older, right? I specialize in helping men just like you sort through all this information and your confusion, frustration, and overwhelm. I know that this is important if you're building that muscle, losing that body fat, but feeling more certain and confident that you're on the right path. All right. So when you come on, say hello, hello, hello. I'm doing this live on TikTok, and that's at 𝗪𝗪𝗃. I'm doing it live on Instagram. That is at 𝗪𝗪𝗃. Doing it live on YouTube at 𝗪𝗪𝗃 and on my Facebook page at 𝗪𝗪𝗃 page. So tell me where you're watching me from. I'm going to answer all your questions. Coming to you every single morning about this time. It is 4:09 a.m. Pacific time. I come to you 7 days a week. All right. Just to connect with you, remind you of what's most important to you. We become what we think about most, and make your time scrolling just a little bit more productive. As we talk about this whole fitness thing, right? I know there are so many different fitness influencers out there giving you information, passionately giving you information, but what's right for you? Is it all the same, building muscle, losing body fat? Is it all the same? Can you relate to? Are the priorities, values the same if someone's 22 years old? Who I call the younger, passionate fitness experts. And I say that with affection because I was a younger, passionate fitness expert. And I tell you what I did, what I loved to do, what I was passionately focused, obsessed to do, to look good and feel great on my way to becoming a 6-time national champion drug-free bodybuilder. Man, I did a lot of things in excess that willingly, joyfully, and enthusiastically, right? It was just my life. It was my identity. But now I'll be 62 years old here next month. I've been doing this for 35 years. I now see it a little differently. I actually have a life that probably is very close to the life that you lived 25 years ago, right? I've got a daughter who's just about 11, a son who's 9 years old, and I got to be healthy and fit. Being a father is very, very important to me, and all the energy that it takes, all the focus that it takes, all the time that it takes. I'm certainly not one of those fitness influencers that if you have a tough time managing it with all the things you've got going on, staying healthy and fit, getting to the gym, eating right, focusing on your health and fitness, you didn't do that when you were young in your life. Certainly understand now, but we're here now. That's all that matters. You could be 40 pounds overweight, 50 pounds overweight. You may now have the time to do this where you didn't have it when you were younger. Well, I'm here to help you sort through all the information, get it done now. I know how being healthy and fit is important to you. So if that sounds like the type of information that you need, you're challenged getting the information that you need. This is your social media platform. So let me know that you're here. Make sure that you follow. Thank you so much for the follows. All right. I appreciate you being here. All right. Captain Roger, greetings from DC. Great to have you here. Try to get some of these questions and comments here over on some of these comments. Someone wants to upload a seminar from the early 2000s. Not sure if I have that around. I'll have to check that out. Let's see here. Give my builder rate 1 to 10. Been going to the gym for 5 months. No pre or creatine. You're doing great. right, guys. So let me know where you're watching me from. In this video, I want to talk about how much muscle that you can build when you're older. Can you build muscle? A lot of times the younger guys say, it's over, you can't build muscle now that you're a certain age, over 50 or so. And some men think they're unlimited. They can build as much muscle now as they could when they're 24 years old, right? Or the answer is somewhere in the middle. All right, we can only do the best that we can with what we have now. So I want to give you a little bit of perspective there, so your expectations are in line. All right, so I want to talk about how much muscle that you can build now that you're older. In addition to answering your questions, Chucky, thank you so much for the follow. Make sure you follow me, whether you're on YouTube. Let me know if you're new too. If you're following me on Facebook, let me know. Let me know. And and let me know if you're new here on Instagram. So Jet Room says it depends on genetics. I guess everything depends on genetics, right? Your health, your vision, how tall you are, how much muscle you can build, how much fat you can lose. Baz, hello, I'm new. Well, welcome, Baz, and I have a question. Okay, well, let me know your question. That's what I'm here for. Edward on Facebook. Great to have you here. And Car on Facebook. So glad you are here. Hey, make sure you visit my 𝗪𝗲𝗄𝗃.com website. 𝗪𝗲𝗃𝗄𝗃. That is my name. Make sure you visit my website. You'll see that when you go there, there are dozens and dozens of videos, blog posts. So I've been doing this for 35 years. I'll tell you a little bit about myself if you are new. My name is 𝗪𝗲𝗄𝗃. I'll be 62 years old here next month. I've been working out consistently for 35 years. I'm a former 6-time national champion drug-free bodybuilder. My first 15 years, I started, really going at 28 years old. I just completely immersed myself in the process, competing pretty much after about 13 months of training, getting myself around the best minds in bodybuilding and training. So a lot of the information that you're hearing now, whether it's the carnivore diet, intermittent fasting, carb cycling, whatever it is, when it comes to your macros, whether it's the macro percentages, how much protein that you should be taking. I not only got with some of the best minds in bodybuilding and training in my pursuit of becoming a champion, aligning myself with major supplement companies at the time that I would be endorsed by, Metrics, Twin Lab, AST Sports Science, and others. So I surround myself by the best, and I aggressively really follow through. A lot of guys, they look at different training routines and they say, that won't work for me. I know my body. What I do works for me, whatever it might be. But they never really apply it to really get some perspective, all the benefits, all the downsides. And a lot of times men have been training for 25 years and they pretty much are doing the same thing, just a version of the same thing that they did at the beginning because it worked. All right. So all these different training strategies, I try them. I can give you the perspective. I can help you differentiate what's important, what's not, and what you can apply to you in your life. All right. So again, I'm a former 6-time national champion drug-free bodybuilder. I retired from that 20 years ago, and then I took on a life again. I see that there's former bodybuilders, on my Instagram page, or someone, they're really fitness influencers who are really into it. I can help give anybody perspective. Thank you so much for being here, right? Make sure that you follow. But who I specialize in, because, like I see a gentleman here who's 24 years old, and I can help in contest preparation, I guess, the last final week of carb loading or those type of things. But, there are so many fitness influencers here. I really specialize in men who are busy, really productive, their family. Now, maybe at this time, their kids are gone or almost gone. Their work, the grind, they're still going through it. It isn't like they've retired yet, but it's settled down, and now they want to spend the time on themselves. They have the time. They want to make the time. They really value the time left that they have left on this planet. They want to make the most out of it, live a long, healthy life. Maybe they have health concerns. Maybe they've had friends who have health concerns. And so now that health, that longevity is far more important than how much muscle they have or how much fat like that they don't have. But at the same time, that's important to their appearance. Is important. They finally want to tackle this at this stage of life. I want to help you do that. So, you know, the priorities, the amount of time you're willing to invest is going to be different, maybe depending on the 22-year-old or 24-year-old. All right. I want to help you differentiate what's important so you can do this. So, hey, make sure you follow. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you so much for the follows. Yeah, so Edward said he's been working out since he's been in the Marines, and now he's 45 years old, and now he wants to put on some size. All right, I want to talk about that, building muscle when you're older. Is that possible? I want to talk about this. I want to also take you over to my 𝗪𝗏𝗂𝗪.com site that I was talking about. Some of the questions that you have right now. You'll see that I produced a 10-minute video, a 20-minute video, a half-hour video talking about it in detail. You can also, when you go to 𝗪𝗏𝗂𝗪.com, you'll also see that some of the questions that you may have in the future, right, just not going through right now, those ones will be answered for you. So go to 𝗪𝗏𝗂𝗪.com. I may take you there and show you what's over there. Maybe it can stimulate some of the questions that you have now. But I do want to answer your questions. Like I said, they go live at this time for at least an hour every single morning. All right, so make sure that you follow. You can learn from the questions that are asked from other men like you, the topic of the day that I bring up. Or when you're ready, you can ask me a question. I can work with you directly. I mean, sometimes what I'll do is I'll open up my phone line and we can talk, you know, one-on-one together right online here. Whatever I can do to help you. Also, I make myself available during this live broadcast. I'll give you my personal cell phone number, and I have a way for you to get some one-on-one attention. As long as you're committed, I make you do a couple steps, show me that you're committed, set the table so you're efficient with your time and my time by texting me. Texting me your name, just introducing yourself to me. Text me a picture. Whatever you feel comfortable is fine, because a picture tells me 1,000 words as I try to help you. And then I've got I have a questionnaire that you fill out. And this questionnaire is going to get you focused on what you want, what you've done in the past, why don't you think it has worked, really help me. Of course, it has your height and weight, everything I need to know, along with that picture that you've texted me. And I'm set. I'm going to use my 35 years of experience, but it's really not just what I did. I mean, I do this one-on-one coaching 7 days a week. I talk about this. We've talked about this for years. I can help you identify what your biggest challenge is, right? Or help you get straight on the next steps of what you have to do, the next steps. I'll give you the opportunity to text me, introduce yourself to me, text me a picture, and then fill out that questionnaire, and we're all set to be effective and efficient with your time. As long as you are committed and you're going to do that for me, I'll take that time. Do that for at least a couple men every single day when I go live. And the great thing about it, if you say, well, how can he spend that time? What's the catch there? Well, you know, the good thing is that what most men now, the men who I deal with, older, responsible, they're busy themselves, they're going to wait till they're ready. They're going to use the information, so they won't reach out. So they not only respect their time because they must, they also respect my time. So when you're ready, go ahead. I'll be more than happy to do that for you. TDK, thank you so much for the follow over on TikTok. Mark, thank you for the follow. JT, thank you for the follow. How can I get your number? All right. Edward wants to ask, let me just flash it on screen, you know, for everyone here. All right. It's always going to be the description of the video if you're watching the replay version, but I'm going to go ahead and flash that. on the screen here. You're going to have to write this down if you're on Instagram. Let's see here. Let me get that real quick. All right. So there you go, Edward. Again, text me, introduce yourself. All right. And text me a picture. Whatever's in your camera roll, you don't necessarily have to take it with your shirt off. Obviously, that's helpful, but I can get a good idea how long you've been training. You may be too tough on yourself. And I can help you appreciate that. Or maybe your standards aren't high enough. All right. But I can tell a lot from a picture, a lot about how long you've been training, the quality of the training, how long you've had that body fat, how much body fat it actually is. All right, so text me a picture. Again, it tells me 1,000 words. It really sets me up so we can use our time efficiently. And then take the time to fill out that questionnaire over on talkwithskip.com. But there's the number. Instagram, it's 925-352-4366. Instagram, 925-352-4366. If you go through any of my posts, a lot of times it's there and on the bio. All right. So tell me that you're watching if you've got a question over on Instagram. This is my second day that I've done this live on Instagram too. All right, so there is that phone number, Edward. Look forward to getting your text. All right, getting to talk to you. All right, Marcella says, I need motivation. I get up in the morning and I really want to work out, but I just don't. Man, motivation. That is a great question. So I'm going to talk about building muscle, how much muscle you can build when you're older. What are you capable of? All right. What should you expect? Also, how do you know if you're building muscle, or is that size? Maybe it's a little bit of body fat. I want to help you understand that process. Really, really important on your journey. All right. That's what I want to talk about. But Marcelo, that was the second topic that I was considering. Because when I come on live, I'll answer your questions, but I'll come by with the topic, but motivation. So I had a gentleman on Facebook last night, and make sure you're on all my platforms. You may not be a Facebook guy, but if you're looking for the information that you need, you like the vibe that I'm giving off, how it's focused to older men and older men, make sure that you're on my Facebook page, because I post a lot of just short posts, long posts over there. Right. So the gentleman yesterday on Facebook, he said, what's your motivation to keep on doing this after all these years? Obviously, the improvements, you're not continually improving. I assume he's building muscle or continually losing body fat. My physique is getting better and better after all these years. Obviously, as you get older, right, it must be going backwards, or at the very least, it's not progressing progressing significantly. How can you keep on going? What's your motivation to keep on doing this all these years? And, again, I work with men all the time, one-on-one. Again, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching to get you over this mentally, emotionally motivation, the workout strategy, the eating strategy, get you straight, get you accountable, so this becomes a part of you now that you're a little bit older, reach out to me. All right. So, I'm with my family. It was in the middle of the night, right? I'm like a lot of people on my phone. So I just said, so the implication was about what it looks like aesthetically in the mirror. I'm assuming by him asking the question, that's what's important to him. And we all do this for different reasons, right? And so I just said to him, I do this for health, to live a long, healthy life. That's why I work out, and that's why I eat right. To live a long, healthy life, the quality of life now, and as I get even older, right? That's why I do it. And then he said, "Oh well, I don't know. I can't read his mind, but it seemed like a little disappointed, like he wanted a more involved answer than that, right?" And so I said, well, I've got a daughter who's almost 11 and a son who's almost 9. I take that responsibility very seriously, and I want to be there for them. All right. I want to have energy to do all this. A lot of men say, man, how can you do that at almost 62 years old? I couldn't even do that when I was 30 years old. you're taking around travel ball and all that time you spend with them. I'll post a lot of the things with my kids. If you haven't seen it already, right, on Instagram, on Facebook, and even on TikTok, you see it all the time, right? How can you? Well, that's my motivation. All right, I've got enough trophies. I don't, when people say, "Wow, you look so good," when, for 62, or oh well, back in the day I was a bodybuilder. I mean, that's great. I really appreciate it. But just like you, I'm looking forward, not in the past, right? That's why it's so important to me. I mean, I said, and I just asked him, "Do you have any kids?" Because if you had young kids, right, and I mean, I would think that you get it just immediately, that you get it, and he seemed to understand that. But the thing about it, Marcel, is that everybody has to make a story. It's what we do every single day. Every single day, we got to create our own reality of what it means. Why am I here at 4 o'clock in the morning, every single morning, 7 days a week? You think on this Sunday morning, you think I wanted to just get up and just talk about fitness for every single day for the last 35 years? I mean, that was that I wanted to do, right? So what gets us to do anything? To not eat that food, eat the right foods, to work out, right? And we all got to create that story, and it's got to be a believable story, but it's so individual. It's so individual, right? I mean, I could tell you, my situation is different than your situation. I can tell you some of the different things that motivate other men, right? But again, that's not your personal connection. All right, everybody's a little different, right? So, I mean, I would say the men who I deal with, the reason why they do this is that, again, I mean, they look in the mirror. It's not necessarily what they see; it's the person they are. They're happy with the person they are. They may not be completely happy with the way they look. They may be carrying around 40 pounds too much for the last 20 years, but they're proud of who they are as a person, the business that they've created, the employees who they've developed, the families that they've helped feed with the business, or what they've created, what they've produced, right? Their family. Many of the men who I work with, I would say, I don't know if I just were to guess, 75% of the men who I help have been married for like 30 years. You're right. So they've got a lot of things to be proud of. Maybe not their body, but they're proud of who they are as a man. All right. So, a lot of times, again, who you relate to as a fitness influencer, right? I see a gentleman 24 or 21. I really suggest that you find a mentor, who's your age, who you can relate to. There's thousands and thousands of fitness influencers, right? Because a lot of times the information is the right information for you. It really is. But you're going, well, he's genetically gifted, or he used to be a bodybuilder, or, whatever. You'll find a way that the exact information that is right for you, how it really doesn't apply to you. The standards that I say you must live at, how that really doesn't apply to you. And I hear it, all the time, how the information I give that is exactly what it is you need. How, well, your condition's a little different, and how your body. I hear that all the time. It's not true. So you find a mentor who you can relate to. All right. So like I said, I deal with older men, busy, productive life, who they don't want to spend 2 hours a day, 7 days a week in the gym. They don't want to necessarily scroll their accounts. They're private. They want to leave as little as a social media footprint as possible. They don't spend hours and hours and hours interacting with all the different social media platforms and influencers. They just want the information. They want to get back to work. They just want to build muscle and lose body fat. All right. They have a low profile here on social media. That's, some of the typical men who I work with. All right. So if that sounds like you, that's who this information is designed for. And it's not, look, even though I was a 6-time national champion, drug-free bodybuilder, this isn't like out to be a big old buff bodybuilder. So I talk to a lot of men, and they say, well, you look great, but I don't want all that. Yeah, I get it. All right. So everybody's motivated in a different way, but The men, I would say, who relate to me most is that they put everybody first, their family first. They're the leaders of their families. They're the leaders of their business. All right. They've always put that part of their life second, and now they want to spend the time. And finally, it's their great white whale, so to speak. Their Moby Dick that they've been chasing forever. And now they really want to put their full focus and attention. They come to the internet. And, what is all this? All this different. Every time I get going, I hear something different, right? That confusion, frustration, overwhelm. They like things nice and organized, and maybe in their business things are organized, but this whole fitness information, how it's thrown together, how it seems to be so, the information seems so conflicting. They just want a step-by-step approach. Just tell me what to do, and I can take care of it. I'll do it, but I can't get the information that I need. Right? So that's the type of man, and it really, it's a lot of men. I mean, I'm not a psychologist, but I deal with a lot of men. I would say one of their biggest motivation is they left it all on the floor with their family and their business. And now, it's like I said, we got more time behind us than we do in front of us when we're a little bit older. We can't lie to ourselves. We don't have forever to get this whole life thing done. All our dreams, our ambition, the impact that we want to make on the world, the impact we want to make on our family, how we want to look at ourselves in the mirror. Right now that we're a little bit older, what impact we're starting to think of our mortality. Maybe, I don't know, some of the stars in the movies that when you were in your prime in your 30s or 40s, and you look at those actors and actresses of some of your favorite movies, and they are old, they are dying. You're thinking, whoa, is that me? Am I close? I don't look that old, do I? How much time do I have left? We're going to sprint to the end, not stumble. And I know that now that we're a little bit older, you probably had a lot of victories. You probably had a lot of victories in life, but we've all had a lot of defeats along the way. Right? You got to keep that mindset upright. Is to make tomorrow a better day. Sprint to the end, not limp to the end. All right. And so the men, they understand that. They got to make the most out of every day that they have left. Like what I say, my sign off is live with a sense of urgency. Not work out, eat right, live with a sense of urgency. I remind you subtly, right? We got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Let's take action now when it comes to our health and fitness. So I think deep down, that is the motivation of most of the men who I work out, is that we only have so much time. When are we going to get this done? We want to extend the quality of our life. And not just the years of our life. We may have had parents who they didn't have their health, and it could have been 10 or 15 years. The last part of life was not good. And we have that constant reminder that the way we take care of ourselves now, the way we work out, cardiovascular health, right? The muscle that we keep, the mobility that we keep, the flexibility that we keep, that we eat right to support all that. Eating is such an important part to this health and fitness process. Food is a drug, right? That will enhance our thinking, our moods, muscle, body fat, that. But it's definitely a drug. Just how we use it, right? So they're thinking about that quality of life now, but also 5 years in the future, 10 years, and 20 years if we have it. Right, there's a quote that I post all the time, and it says, look so good, make your goal to look so good that when a younger man who's 25 or 30 sees you at your age, it's not just that you have muscle and you don't have the body fat, that you're erect, that you portray this energy and this optimism that you're enjoying life, getting more and more and more out of life. You are sprinting to the end, not limping to the end, that he cannot believe by your energy, not just the way you look. All right, that he no longer fears getting old. So if he thought 62 was old, saying, wow, I'm going to continue to work out. I'm going to start working out here as 25, 30 because 62 looks good. I got a lot more time to do this, right? So that is usually the biggest motivation of most of the men. It doesn't have to be your motivation, right? It is all an individual thing, but I hope that's helpful. Of course, if you have health issues, a lot of men do, Got a 62 years old, friend that I know ever since high school. My brother is a really good friend. Just died of a heart attack on Father's Day a couple weeks ago at 62 years old. Now, it's interesting because we all have those situations with people that we know. And the mind just has this way to rationalize and to somehow cope with it. So it doesn't take long before we say, oh, well, that's him. That's not going to happen to me. But at least for a brief moment, we want to do everything to make sure that doesn't happen to us. And I just want to help you. I just want to help you put it on forward in your mind. I want to help you just think about it more. We become what we think about most. So that's a little bit about motivation. That's helpful. I'll tell you this, so if you know a little bit, about me, I have worked with Tony Robbins last 25 years. I staffed at his events. I've gone through all of his training, where 100 of us, he taught us about mindset, motivation, how to get the most. I mean, I really credit that type of training for so many years to where I am now, wherever that is, wherever I'm going, right? Mindset, so important to this process, right? I deal with a lot of men who are strong mindsets. They're leaders and all that. I became obsessed with personal development, mindset when I was 21 years old. So I've had a lot of coaching. So I know the value of coaching. That's why I'm so passionate, about helping men get their mind right. And even if you're great at your job, your profession, sometimes, aligning it in certain areas of in fitness, and then maybe that's the challenge. You're so productive, you're so confident in other areas, but you can't get this fitness. I get it. You're not alone there. All right. But one thing that I've noticed, is that when I've had the inspiration of what's really deep inside, why you do the things that you do, it's really interesting that where the motivation came from, it comes from sources that you wouldn't know, things going on in your life, and sometimes it surprised me, and that's what really drove me. All right. So, look, if you want to reach out, we can talk about those type of things to really dig deep and help you understand, what may be most important to you when it comes to that. All right. So let me talk a little bit about building muscle and losing body fat. All right. I know that's really important. Let's see here. My mic is, let me get this really quick here. So how much muscle can you build now that you're a little bit older? If you listen to some of the younger guys on social media, they think, you're over 35, you're over 40, over 50, your testosterone levels drop so much. Yeah, don't even think about building muscle at this stage. You're on a downward slide, right? So you have that one extreme. And then you have some men saying that, oh man, I gained 20 pounds of muscle at 55 years. I'm still growing, right? Look at all this size that I have. Nobody can tell me age is just a number. I can build all this muscle. Well, what's the truth? Can you just build all this muscle now that you're older? Does that not matter? Is age just a number? Or forget about it. You're on the downward slide. You don't have the testosterone that you had when you were 25 years old. Well, first of all, let me just say that point is moot. How much muscle you should build? You have to not look at your muscle building, your fat loss, your health, your fitness, your physique. You can't look at it as a younger man, like just the net result. I got to build 20 pounds of muscle or this isn't worth it. You got to do it for your health. You need that muscle, whatever you do have, even if you can just build ounces and not pounds. You got to keep that muscle as you get older. You got to fight to keep it. Use it or lose it. It becomes especially important when you're older, right? So really, you can't look at it as a younger man, right? We got to lift that weight, overload training, progressive overload training. We got to be consistent, whether that's 3 days a week and it's a full body workout or 5 or 6 days a week, intense, one body, one part, bro split, Arnold split, whatever. right? We got to attack that, regardless if it's ounces or pounds, right? You got to remember that, right? The other thing, so that's number one. Number two, it really depends. Are you 55 years old and you're just working out for the first time? Or are you 55 years old and you've been working out for 25 years and you've already built a lot of muscle over time? That makes a big difference. If you have what I call a virgin body to virgin muscle, right, it's going to be easier for you to build muscle overloading on a consistent basis, knowing what you're doing in the gym for the first time. It's going to make a huge difference if you're in that situation, even though you're 55. Right. So, but really, again, getting back to point one, you still got to lift that muscle anyway. Think about 10 years from now, 20 years from now, whether you can build ounces or pounds, it really doesn't matter. Here's the other thing that you need to remember when it comes to building muscle and losing body fat when you're older. Don't get caught up with the number on the scale. It's what you want to look like in the mirror. You're just attaching a number. I got to gain 10 pounds and I got to do that X amount of months, right? You want to look a certain way and you're just guessing that number. I don't know, whatever you're 5'11", you think you should weigh 190 or 180. I got to gain 10 pounds and may even think you're doing that, gaining 10 pounds. You know, the real number might be lower. It might be, I don't know, 175, but it looks 200 pounds. A lot of the size that a lot of men have that they're holding on to and they don't even want to diet because they feel they're losing their hard-earned muscle. It's not real muscle. It's muscle that's marbled with a lot of fat. So when you do diet down, you're going to lose that size. You're not going to wear an extra large shirt anymore. You're not going to be huge that way. But it's going to be quality. You're going to fill out a large t-shirt and look amazing. People are going to think you're 220 pounds, so to speak. Man, you really started working out. All right. But let me just tell you, as you're dieting down to lose that body fat that's marbled with all the muscle, it may feel a little weird in the shirt. A lot of men don't make it down there. A lot of people say, yeah, are you still working out? Hey, you're looking skinny. All the things you don't want to hear when you're afraid to lose that muscle. But again, it's what it looks like in the mirror. Right? So that's the perspective of the older man when it comes, can I build muscle when I'm older? Right? That's what you got to remember. You got to do it anyway. You got to fight for those ounces. It may not be pounds, all right? But we got to do it for our longevity, our health. Think longer term. Think more than the mirror, all right? And also, it's about quality muscle and size. The leaner you get, you're not losing on that muscle. You'll look huge, right? So make sure you're lean, right? I'm not just talking about 22% or so, if you know what that looks like, where you look better than most men your age, especially with clothes on. No, if you want to look the way you want it, that's what I'm talking about, you know, where you have that separation, all right, then, you got to make sure you're lean enough to display what you have. And again, it's going to give that illusion of size. So that's everything you need to know about how much muscle that you can build or you can't build when you're older. That's an older man's intelligent approach and perspective when it comes to how much muscle you can build or not build when you're older. All right, so hey, if you want to reach out to me, I make myself during this time that I spend with you every single morning, text me. This is what you do. You text me at this number, 925-352-4366. All right, text me a picture, whatever you feel comfortable with on your phone. Text that to me, right? It gives me a real sense of where you are. A picture doesn't tell me 1,000 words, right? Just introduce yourself. Now, when you go to talkwithskip.com, it's going to bounce you over to my 𝗪𝗔𝗄𝗂.com website. Check out all the videos that I have there. Make sure you get on my email list. When you do, I have a succession of emails that will guide you over the weeks in the next coming months to the right video for you at that time. So sign up for my email list there too. But it's going to take you to my 𝗪𝗔𝗄𝗂.com website. I've got a questionnaire that's really going to get you focused. Even if you weren't going to submit that to me, it'll get you clear on what your biggest challenge is. Very skilled questions. Help thousands of men just like you through my one-on-one coaching, all right? I know what you need. I know the steps. I know what confuses you most. I know all the pitfalls that are going to get in your way, helping out so many men through this. So there's no reason to go through this alone. So fill out that questionnaire. Fill it out thoroughly, right? So I'll have your picture. You've texted me, and I have the questionnaire. And I'll reach out to you sometime today to set up a day and time talk. I do have time today. I make time every single morning. Again, you're the first person I wake up to every single morning, the first person I talk to, and I'll make time for at least a couple of men every single day. And you will say, well, how can I do all that, right? Well, because you guys respect your time and my time. So the men who reach out to me, they are ready, right? So when I spend 10 or 15 minutes helping them identify, clear, or validate wherever they are in the next steps, they're ready for it. They appreciate it. Right, so that, and if you may be visiting me for the first time, joining me for the first time on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, or on YouTube, make sure you're on all my social media platforms, right? Well, I'm planting a seed because it may be 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months from now that you're ready. But I want you to know that I'm here for you. Right? So that's sounds like you. Reach out to me. Text me at the number 925-352-43666, the number on the screen, and go to talkwithskip.com. Fill out that question and I'll reach out to you. We'll get it in. We'll get in when it's convenient for you. Right? Just show that initiative, and I'll do that. All right. Make sure you visit my 𝗪𝗪𝗂𝗂.com website. So Bill says, I plan on living to 150 years old, healthy. I hear you. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love hearing that. I love that energy. I love that enthusiasm. I'll tell you what, when I talk about living with a sense of urgency, we have to now that we're a little bit older. You know, one thing that I do is, like, I'm not sure about all those years. It's the quality of years. So I may not live to 115, but the years that I have, I want them high energy, all right? High energy, and living every moment with passion and energy, living with that sense of energy, making the most out of the years that I do have, right? That's kind of my way of looking at it. Hey, thank you so much for the follows on TikTok. Thank you so much for the hearts. All right, so I'm gonna sign off on Facebook and on Facebook and on YouTube, right? So again, reach out to me. Thank you so much for being here. What did we talk about today? We talked about big topic. How much muscle can you build when you're a little older? We talked a lot about motivation. Didn't get to a lot of the questions today, right? A lot of people listening, and that's great too. All right. So reach out to me. Have a great week. Join me live at this time every single morning. Come to you live in all these different formats. All right. So let's take on the day with a sense of urgency. We have to when we're a little bit older. We've got more time behind us than we do in front of us. Have a great day.